Welcome everybody to the newest A.M.A on the Spintop YouTube channel. This is a very special A.M.A. It's the first YouTube A.M.A that we are going to do on the Spintop channel, and with a very special guest, with Bountie Hunter, the first IDO happening on Spin Starter. Today we have Alishan and Justin from the Spintop team, and from Bountie Hunter we have Lex, the CEO, and Desmond, the CBO. For everyone that want to know, the IDO is going to happen on the 6th of April, and you have to hold at least 1,000 spin in order to be available to participate. So that's everything from my part. So if you want to introduce yourself, thank you for joining me today and us.
Welcome, guys.
All right. Great. Thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Lex, and I'm the CEO of Bountie and Bountie Hunter. So we are very fortunate and honored to be here with you guys, the Spintop and the Spin Starter community. So I will pass on to Desmond. I think we will go quite heavily into our projects later in terms of the details. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. We're glad hosting you as well.
Hi guys, I'm Desmond. I'm the Chief BD Officer of Bountie and also one of the co-founder for Bountie Hunter and also Bountie. We have started actually in 2017, 2018 as a eSports tournament platform, and I'm very excited to be part of Spintop's first IDO. I think that's really important for us as well as it is for you. So we're gonna actually do this really, really well. So we're gonna dive into a bit of details of what we have been doing over the last 4 to 5 years.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you for introducing yourselves. So now going straight into the questions. The first one is always the easiest one. If you had 2 minutes to talk about your project, what would you say? And what would you say is your mission?
Sure. Thank you. So essentially, we see Bountie Hunter as a GameFi platform that helps gamers to earn a living from playing games. And our mission is to be the de facto platform for gamers to invest and to discover crypto play-to-earn games as well as metaverse projects.
Okay, thank you. That sounds pretty interesting. Everyone will get to know more about you in this A.M.A. So now the second one, usually for the projects, is the most difficult one. If there are any projects similar to yours, why would you say that you outstand among them? And why do you think people should know about it?
Yeah, I love this question. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. I think we are first starting off very similar to a launchpad. The model is fairly similar in the sense that the token holders of Bountie have to buy and stake Bountie, and then in order to participate in our quest. So it's similar to a launchpad model where you have to buy and stake the project's tokens in order to participate in their IDOs, right? But in our case, the difference is you don't have to risk any additional capital. So you'll be participating in this quest for free, and you can earn our partners' cryptocurrencies and NFTs. So that's the key difference. And this is extremely important during this bearish market where people have essentially lose quite a fair bit of their initial capital through the past couple of months. But I think what we're trying to give in terms of opportunities to our token holders is this ability to earn and have exposure to all these crypto games while we are still in this slightly bearish crypto market at the moment. I think one very key important differentiation factor is we have been around since 2017, like what Desmond has mentioned. We have also built up a large community of 250,000 traditional crypto, or rather Web2 gamers, all right? So we want to convert and educate these 250,000 gamers to become crypto-savvy Web3 gamers and to participate in our partners' games or ecosystem like Spintop. So that is something that I think we are very proud of. If you're looking at the total number of active wallets or gamers in the current Web3 scene, there are probably about 2 million on a daily active perspective. So with 250,000 gamers, it's actually quite a large sum. It's almost like a significant percentage of our gamers that can onboard onto the Web3 ecosystem. So that is just the beginning. Another very interesting and important point is for me personally, I have participated in the crypto industry since 2015 when Bitcoin was about $300. So I wish I bought more back then. But what is more interesting is since 2020, I've participated in a lot of our IDOs. When I look at my spreadsheet, I probably have participated in about 250 IDOs so far.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So some of these launch pads are like your poker starters, Pools Finance, BSC pad. And of course, I also bought into Spintop as well. We are looking forward to participate in Spin Starters projects as well in the near future. So a lot of these projects, some of them, of course, they have done very well to the extent of 50x, 100x, or in some extents 500x. All right. So I think we have learned quite a fair bit of lessons and factors on why these projects are successful, and we have utilized some of these learnings and applied it to Bountie Hunter as our project. So I think one key one is, of course, the initial market cap of our launch. We're just starting off with 125,000 at TGE. All right. So if you know how important this key factor is, essentially, if you were to double up the tokens from, let's say, 2 cents to 4 cents. In our case, I think the lower the market cap, the easier it is for you to double up your tokens, right? So if you were to look at our project at 125,000 market cap, for you to double up, typically it takes about 30,000 to 40,000 in buying pressure for you to double up your tokens. But if you were to compare that with a project that has $10 million in market cap, for example, then you potentially need 300,000 to 500,000 or even more in terms of the buying pressure in order to increase the prices. So I think that is fundamentally what we have learned so far in terms of the key factors that is differentiating our projects against many other projects. We have a large and strong community. We already have a ready product. And I think one more important thing is we have really generated $300,000 in revenue since we started. So that I'm going to leave it to Desmond to share more on the revenue, the partnership side of the equation. Thanks.
Okay.
I just want to ask one thing. Like, why do you call them quests? And what kind of quests are we talking about?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Right? I used to play a lot of Diablo games. I'm not sure about you guys. So
most of our teams are dedicated gamers.
Awesome. So I see this as a quest in a Diablo game or RPG game. Where we are going around the game, farming different quests, and then after we have completed the quest, we actually get a quest rewards. So this is a concept that once a gamer hears it, they understand the whole idea. It's just like saying what is GameFi. The vocabulary is very important for people to really understand what this whole function is about, and that is essentially why we call it quest.
But what are the contents of these quests? I mean, and not only staking, but like what other missions are we talking about? Just to get an idea.
Sure. We are starting off with, of course, eSports tournaments, which is something that we are extremely familiar with. We have already conducted and facilitated more than 3,000 eSports tournaments to date on Bountie.io. So we are very familiar with this equation. So we will be helping a lot of our crypto gaming partners, ecosystem guilds, to create eSports tournaments to engage with their community. And then, of course, to direct our 250,000 gamers to participate in this esports tournaments as well, because this is something that they are really doing on our platform. So that is one category of quest. The other categories of quests will be more towards airdrop campaigns, giveaways, farming opportunities, and things along those lines. And we will go extremely creative to the extent that it will fit according to what our crypto gaming partners are looking for in order to help them achieve their goals and target, which is essentially gamers acquisition.
Okay.
Makes sense. Perfect.
You talked about esports. Myself, I've been watching a lot of esports the last years, mostly League of Legends. That's true, but I really like it. And why do you think? And for you, esports, it's one of your main assets. Why do you think it's so important to implement esports into the blockchain?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think the key point about play to earn right now is a lot of these users are actually crypto natives. We are not really gamers specifically. So we actually need the gamers to come on board to these play to earn games. If not, it totally doesn't make sense.
That's why Spintop is here, to create real gamers for the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. We have the same kind of a vision, right? Which is to
Yeah.
drive the millions of Web2 gamers into Web3 games or ecosystems. So for us, we are targeting more towards the Southeast Asia region. I think whereas for you guys are more towards the European and US region, if I'm not wrong. So I think the key part about games is the esports element. That is what creates the longevity in games like Counter-Strike, Dota 2. You know, why are they able to last 10 over years? It's simply because of the whole esports element that drives the interest, that drives the storyline, that drives the whole culture behind these games, that make it so interesting that people want to watch it, that makes it so fun that people want to continue to play it because there is longevity. There is things that you can do after you complete the missions. Okay, so that is, I feel, generally what I feel is the next phase of play to earn games. They need to really focus on the esports element to create this longevity. I'm going to pass on to Desmond. I think he has a lot of experience talking to these games as well, and why esports is quite crucial.
Okay, sure.
Great answer.
Thanks a lot, Lex. I'll just add on a quick bit on top of whatever Lex has just mentioned. I think a bit more about what we have done, what we have gone through, then I think that will perhaps help us to understand where we are charting ahead as well. So fun fact was in 2018, after we got into the market, we actually did an initial few tournaments of esports tournaments using cryptocurrency. And what we found out back then was we did initial a few rounds of Counter-Strike, hosting a few tournaments using crypto. And back then we were awarding Ethereum as the prize pool. And we found out that it was easy to get players to come in because I think it was talk of the town then. Everyone was kind of rallying towards the idea of a cryptocurrency in gaming. But we realized very quickly as well that it was quite tough to do the cashing out because infrastructurally, the ecosystem wasn't ready for OTC to take place. So there are multiple hoops to jump through for a gamer to effectively exchange the crypto that they have into fiat. So as a result, we kind of put that on the back seat. But we have always been, thinking about this particular piece because I've been a casual gamer. I played some CS, I played some StarCraft very casually. Lex was a pro gamer 16, 17 years ago. I'm not sure if if he told you guys back then he was 8th in the world for Warcraft 3.
Wow.
And that was when esports wasn't even a thing. And obviously part of his passion is he wanted to monetize off gaming, right? Back then when he was still schooling and playing, I believe he told me before he's better at gaming than studies in those days. But there wasn't any opportunity there kind of to deep dive into making gaming a career, not unlike today. So then Lex kind of went on to do digital businesses and also coding and development work in the digital space. And he developed some successful vertical of business on e-commerce. But so when we saw this opportunity in 2017, 2018, we were schoolmates, by the way. We kind of jumped into it and then say, let's come on and do this together, right? So we really want to bring the monetization value back to the gamers to let them be able to monetize through their skill sets. And when we look at the gaming space as a whole, there are different genres, different verticals of games, right? You have your casual, broadly speaking, you have your casual games, you have your competitive games, and within that you have the esports game title. So the gaming industry is very large. It's 2.6, 2.7 billion overall, very loosely defined. But when you look at what defines gaming most of the time in your mass media, it's always esports. It's like esports is the cherry on top. It's the pinnacle of what defines gaming as an industry, right? All your pro players, the glitz and glamours behind them, star power.
That's very correct. And the popularity comes from there as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's always leading the forefront. So in the same token, when we look at the Web3 game space, we believe that the esports is the pinnacle of it as well. If you want gamers to come in to be main trend, you can't exactly be going after just a casual category in the game. All right, you got to look after some of the main mobile categories, the FPS category, the battle royale category, the RTS category. I think these are some of the mainstream esports titles that we're excited about And at this current juncture, we want to look into this space and help to grow. And Web 2 right now, there are a lot of gamers in this space. A lot of them are aware about Web 3, but not all are playing in this space because I think there are still some challenges in terms of understanding the landscape, getting your first MetaMask to set up. There are still some hoops to jump through, even though it's much better than what it was in 2018. So where Bounty Hunter is today in Southeast Asia, we want to help to push on this conversation a little faster, be the catalyst to these Web2 gamers and say, we have a academy piece to help them to educate them, to also to localize some of the gaming projects curriculum, and then we put in the quiz to then convert Web2 to Web3, and then we create the whole eSports piece with the games in mind. All right. I don't think all games today are can fit into this category of the eSports. I think there are some games which are designed to be casual. And for those games that we design bespoke, customized marketing solutions for them to also once again talk to the gamers, do gamers acquisition, do gamers retention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really great. So
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Do you think with bounty hunters, when you're bringing actual importance on the gamers and with the new IDO participation that Mr. Lex told us before, do you think younger people will be able to join the gaming and GameFi communities as well with bounty hunter? And do you think it could happen faster than, I mean, you will be the gateway on this. It's so exciting for gamers.
Definitely. I think we wouldn't talk about us being the gateway for the entire world, but in terms of Southeast Asia, we are Singaporeans. We're based in Singapore. We have a team of 40 based in Indonesia. Over the last 4 to 5 years, we have done tournaments in Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. So mostly Southeast Asia. So we understand this region fairly well. It's a multicultural region. It's like a melting pot of different races, religion, ethnicity of people coming in together. So we sitting here, we understand kind of the different nuances in these different countries, and want to help people penetrate these gamers quite effectively. And I think the way to do it is really localization. Many of these games are English based, but I think we could help to do our part to localize them in terms of the how-to guides, right? I think many, whether it's in Thailand, in Indonesia, in the Philippines, many of the games that they are playing may be English. They may be English wordings. But if I want to understand about a game today and learn how to play this game well, and there's two languages of how-to guide. One in my native language and the other in English. I will naturally go to the one in my native language first, right? Before then, I look at the English one. So then this is the piece that we want to help it to help games penetrate this diverse, multicultural, multiracial Southeast Asia by helping them with the localization, because we understand this is like our backyard. And I think once we can do this well, we'll be able to serve different games who wants to penetrate this side of the world.
Yes,
Okay.
brilliant.
One of the main problems for the non-crypto users are the crypto thing. Do you plan to mix games like you mentioned CSGO, I mentioned League of Legends? Do you plan to mix them with the blockchain? If yes, how? And maybe do you plan to partnership or to collaborate with an eSport team? I don't know, like Flash Wolves or Fnatic in Europe or Gambit in the northeast of Europe. Do you plan to do something like that so that the players they have already, they can join you?
Yeah, and another great question. So this is the initial problem that we faced when we first started Bounty Hunter as a project. A lot of the Web2 gamers, they're actually very foreign to the whole crypto industry. And we realized that we had to go very deep down and personal with the actual implementing and the education piece. Okay, I mean, if you were to give them a YouTube video and ask them to follow the steps on how to download MetaMask, a lot of them wouldn't go through that whole entire step, which is why I think a lot of these crypto games, as much of a budget they have, they couldn't acquire gamers quickly and effective as what we can do as a project as Bountie Hunter. So how we do it actually is fairly simple, but it's very hard to scale. So we actually have on the ground individuals, community leaders, tournament organizers that we have worked very closely with in the past 4 to 5 years. And we utilize all these local individuals to go directly to all these community individuals to guide them individually how to actually get on board into the crypto industry. I think this is something that Philippines and Axie Infinity had done very well during their initial phases. They actually got spreaded through the whole entire country through word of mouth. It's like people teaching one another how do you actually make money from playing Axie Infinity instead of through digital advertising or through YouTube videos, etc. So this is how we believe that the whole onboarding phase will happen, at least for the first initial phases for crypto in Southeast Asia. And that is something that we are focused very heavily on in Indonesia specifically. So in terms of collaboration with eSports team, definitely we will do so, but more towards the Q3, Q4 part of the roadmap, where we start to implement things like NFTs. So a lot of these projects or a lot of these influencers, I think they're all looking for additional channels to amplify their user base or their fan base, as well as monetization channels. So this is something that we will work closely with them by implementing, let's say, a Bountie cross collaboration with RSG, which is a Singapore-based esports team, and then we will do limited edition NFT offerings to our community of users as well as their community of fans. So this is something that we will plan to do sometime down the road for our avatars or LinkedIn for Gamers profile, where you can buy and equip these skins or weapons, RSG weapons into your Bounties profile. And once you have the full set of these items or NFTs, you will earn additional yield, or you'll get a special membership perk that no one else could get from this membership. So this is something that we are looking to implement with the esports teams and influencers within this part of the world, and hopefully some celebrities as well. So I'm just going to leave it at
that. Cool to hear that. Yeah.
I would love to have the shirt of, I don't know, maybe a T1. I really like that team. So having a T1 shirt on the Bounty platform, that sounds really nice to have it. So now we're gonna go with the tokenomics part. I will let Justin. I'll ask these questions because he really loves the tokenomics of everything. So I'll let him ask those for you.
So yeah, we have a couple of questions on tokenomics as well, obviously. So Bountie Hunter's token is Bounty, and could you actually elaborate how it will work and what utilities it has?
Sure, happy to do so. So through my learnings of other IDO projects that I participated in, I realized that the tokenomics is one of the top most important factor to determine whether this project will be successful or not in the short term, in the medium term. So that is why we focus very heavily on the functions that we'll be launching on the 8th of April on listing day. So first, of course, we will have staking. That is the most asked questions in any community chat that you've been to. So that is something that we implemented right from the get-go. We have already gotten the audits done up. Everything is all safe and good to go. So after you stake Bounty, you'll be able to participate in the quest. This is where you earn additional yield because I think in crypto, most of us are here not just for the tech, but also for the capital gains and also the earnings, right? So these are the two key factors that allows us to ensure as little selling pressure as possible, because we want to create so much value that if you are a Bounty token holder, you want to buy more and stake more and earn more rather than to sell, because this is where you generate even more capital gains or even more money via our ecosystem. So that's the first things first. The second thing is we will be launching a launchpad as well, but that will be sometime more towards Q3. So once we have gathered a mass of, let's say, 10,000 to 50,000 token holders, it's going to be relatively easy for us to raise funds for our projects that we are working with. So it becomes an end-to-end solution whereby we will help crypto games in Southeast Asia to raise funds via the private round to the IDO rounds, and then subsequently to help them to scale from 0 gamers to 50,000 or 100,000 gamers relatively easy. So this is an accelerator program that we want to offer to the Southeast Asian publishers or the game developers within this region. Then, of course, slightly later will be where we launch our LinkedIn for Gamers, the NFTs, and then an integration to Bountie.io as the core platform. So these are the few key features that we'll be launching. For token utilities perspective, of course, other than staking and earning APY, we also want to offer something like Unifarm. So essentially, when you stake UFarm as the tokens, similar to if you stake Bounty, you will earn additional APY on the other projects tokens that we will be offering. For example, let's say we are working with DeFi Warrior, Project Oasis, Vimeo. Each of them will give us additional pool of tokens, and then this will add on to the 20% APY on the single site staking that we are offering to the extent of, let's say it could become as interesting as 80% to 100% or even 200% when we combine 5 to 10 projects all together. So you just need to buy and stake one token and you get access to 10 tokens, for example. So I think that is a very attractive model for DeFi as a platform specifically.
That is very interesting. We can try to do something on Spindex together on there as well, hopefully.
Yeah, cool.
Yep,
Love the
definitely.
idea on staking and quests. It's amazing. I myself stake everything I have. It's a lifestyle now.
Okay, so now, Justin, you can go with the next question. So,
I said faster, not because we don't have time. We have all the time for you, but we don't want YouTube viewers to get bored, So that's why.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So,
All good?
now-
Recording? We're going?
yeah.
Okay. So with the bounty tokens idea comes the next question. Have you got some play to earn mechanics? And if you would like, you could maybe share your screen with us and elaborate on the website as well. Is that question?
Yeah, definitely. Do you mind giving me access to the share screen? Then I can maybe go through my website and just to run through with the viewers what we can do during the launch as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
can
I have
share
the
your screen.
access right now. Give me one moment.
Okay, there you go.
Really?
All right, so if you go over to bountieHunter.io, this is what you will see right now. This is more like I would say an IDO and token sale site at the moment, where we talk a lot more about what we do and then about the IDO fundraising, when is it going to be, and then what price will it be at, and as well as which IDO launch pads. However, after the IDO or the token sale, we will revamp the whole entire site to be a more product-centric site. Okay, so this is just the initial version 1 of a site that you'll see. I think the key thing towards the more play-to-earn equation will be under the quest. So, for example, we have already 3 quests that are running, of which we have brought about 5,000 to 7,000 traditional esports gamers to these 3 games in total. So let's jump on to DeFi Warrior as our first case study. So DeFi Warrior is a Vietnamese project that focuses more towards the GameFi gameplay kind of a project. So we did a first campaign with about $19,500 worth of DeFi Warrior tokens as well as NFT to onboard and to direct our 250,000 gamers to their platform, like their Telegram channels, their Discord channel, and also their social media as well. So on the right, this is where the gamers would fill up their information, whether they want to participate in the PUBG or the Mobile Legends tournament. And then this is the form that they will fill up their team captain's name, etc. Okay, and then if they are interested to look at the description or the information of the project themselves, they can click on description. And then these are the information that they can scroll through and read. And then, of course, we have a table of content on when the tournament dates are for them to prepare themselves. And then, of course, there's a Gleam campaign that has already completed. But of course, within the Gleam campaign, they will need to follow DeFi Warriors' Twitter page, their Telegram channel, as well as join their Discord channel. So within which, this is to help our partners to gain this additional visibility as well as a user base. And then from there, the gamers will participate in these tournaments. And once the tournament has concluded, they'll be distributed these prizes. So this is very, I would say, an MVP that we have launched very recently, just a couple of months back. This whole quest page and the whole entire site will be evolved and upgraded to version 2 after we launch our IDO. All right, hope this clarifies your question.
Yeah, that sounds
amazing.
pretty cool.
So on the tiers of the IDOs, do you have any tiers? Do you offer tiers? And what will be the benefits?
Yeah, so we call them the Hunter tiers. We just have 3 very simple ones at the moment. 50 tokens, 50,000 and then 500,000. So of course, the more tokens you buy and stake, the higher your chances are to get selected for the quest itself. So it's just a very simple model at the moment, but of course we can add in more mechanics in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Hunter tiers, huh?
Yeah,
Hunter tiers.
Yeah.
I like the naming thing you make on your project in general. Like wording is very important, and it seems like you can do it very well.
Yeah, I mean, we use a lot of gaming terms, right? Like Bounty Hunter is essentially when you play too much Dota 2. So we are using a character in Dota 2. Of course, a different spelling, and but essentially the reasons and the idea is behind it is the same, right? We want to be a bounty hunter, of which we'll be hunting for treasure and gold within the bounties ecosystem.
Cool.
Yeah, love the gamification. So we have actually a little bit of private question. It's about our collaboration with Spintop and Bountie Hunter. So you know about Spintop's products, we'll have a Guildmaker and Spindex in the future. And how will we collaborate together in the future? Can you enlighten our community about that?
Yeah, I think. Sure.
Sorry, I was going to say especially on Guildmaker. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. So one of the key reasons why I actually bought Spin tokens, I think this is a testament of how good your project is, right? When we first started talking, I was actually impressed with the team's vision and how many verticals that you all are actually building for the gaming ecosystem itself. So of course, things like Guildmaker and Spindex is like, I would say, very technically challenging kind of a products, of which it will definitely help the ecosystem itself. So specifically, the Guildmaker, I think is a much needed solution for the guild, for the guilds in this current ecosystem to be able to scale up their operations. I think this is a much needed solution. So in the case that we are going to do a guild for Bounty, I'm not saying that we are yet, maybe we will in the future because we already have 250,000 havens. I think the difficulty is how do we manage and to run this whole guild efficiently and to make sure that everyone holds the assets without losing the assets to the gamers themselves, right? So this is like a very difficult technical challenge that I think not many projects can do, but I'm glad that Spintop and your team are actually doing it so that for us as the beneficiary of the platforms, we can actually use it to ease off our operations. So that's something that we are exploring. Hopefully, one day we can stand together and announce to the communities between ours and yours that we'll be doing something along these lines as well.
Definitely. I mean, even though maybe, as you said, Bounty won't open its own guild, but with the infrastructure we have and the technology we have that we're creating with the Guildmaker and the user database, player database that you have, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to make something awesome in the near future.
Yeah, exactly, right. That is what I mean. You know, you make it so easy for platforms like us or communities like us to easily create our own guilds and to facilitate all these functions and give us additional revenue channels. We love it.
And yeah, in Guildmaker, everybody will be able to create his own guild. So that'll be a useful case for both parties for sure.
Okay, so now with I'm gonna do 2 more questions before we go with the community ones. The first one, I think it's quite easy and fast answering. Who will be performing the security audits on the Bounty Hunter? And how are you preventing the fraudulent use or the cheating in the website?
Yeah, I think this is another hot question that the investors and the token holders always ask, right? Because there are so many hacks and exploits all the time. So we went with a close contact of ours. They are called RD or auditors. They also have RD labs and RD benches. So they are the ones that help us with our token and staking contracts audits. So that has already been done and fully audited. We are also sending in our whole staking applications for audit as well, just to be very, very sure and very tight with our website and application. And to give you some additional color to our background, for myself and my CTO, Andre, we have been building websites and applications for clients for at least half of our careers. So we are extremely familiar with development, which is why I said I was super impressed with what Spintop is building, right? I can imagine the complexity behind 5 or 6 different products that you are building, and each of them being very large in terms of the use cases and the application. And of course, the UI and the design of what you all have been doing are so damn good as well. So I understand from that perspective as a builder myself. And so we actually spend a lot of time ensuring that our product is also up to par. And also the security side of the equation are being covered as well. So these are the background and the skill sets that we have actually as a team.
Yeah, I agree that the security is one of the main aspects. Myself, I've been hacked in one of my wallets, so I really want for everything to be very audited. So that's nice to hear from your part. And now with the last question, this is one where you can say whatever you want. Can you maybe update us in any news that you are having in the near future, and what is your main objective yet to be achieved in the near future and in the long future?
Sure. For me, I split it into 2 or 3 key points. I'll let Desmond share a little bit, or let some of the cat out of the bag, right? With whatever that we can share at this current moment. So I think the first key one would be the revenue targets. We have so far already achieved $300,000 in revenue. I think we are on track to hit $10 million by end of this year, 2022. So that's a huge jump in terms of the revenue targets that we have set for ourselves. That's the first key target and milestone. I think the second one is more towards the token holders. Based on our strategy of our launch, we actually went with as many launch pads as possible, with the bare minimum of allocation possible as well. So that's why we're launching on 8 launch pads for our IDO, so that we can have as many token holders as possible across these different launch pads. And we are estimating between 500 to 1,005 token holders per launch pad, which will give us a significant amount of holders right from the start. So that being said, I think a lot of these launchpad holders are very similar to what our token holders want to do, which is to stake and to earn additional yield. That's why we went with that approach, and hopefully we can convert a significant amount of them to be our future token holders. But the long-term goal is really to convert our 250,000 gamers to become our token holders as well. So much so that we will have between 250,000 to 300,000 token holders by end of this year. So that's our next key target. And then the third one is more towards the product side of the equation. We have on a high level set within Q2, Q3, and Q4, what are the key products that we'll be releasing. I think one major criticism in the crypto industry is we promise to build certain things, we promise to launch in certain time, but then things usually happen and then there will be major delays, right? So this is something that is very common, not just in the crypto industry, but also in the tech world. But something that me and my CTO are making sure that we keep on track to the timeline as much as possible, to the highest level and quality as possible in terms of the product delivery. So these are the 3 main goals and milestones that I'm looking at and setting for the whole entire company. In regards to the news announcement and updates, I'm not sure how much you want to share today. I'll leave it to Desmond to share with your community, to give you all some alpha.
Don't say anything you are not allowed. So please, just say whatever you can.
He's the CEO. He wants to say anything he wants. So if you want to give any alpha leak, we're good.
Well, I guess I wouldn't spill too much, but I think over the last 4 months, we actually started. I was looking back at where we actually formed Bountie Hunter, because we actually pivoted our team from Bounty to Bountie Hunter. And then we started off, and that was 26th of November. So I think in the last 4 months, we we've kind of found a right product market fit for us. And I think the onus right now is to post IDO is to carry on now this path to really help identify more games and help them to value add with gamers acquisition, gamers retention. In the last 4 months, we have hosted only 16 crypto-based esports tournaments in Indonesia and the Philippines. Because of how many of these games are still in the stage of development, I think we are also helping them to craft a different esports journey. Where we're activating some of the commonly seen game titles in Southeast Asia, like PUBG Mobile, like Mobile Legends, potentially using some of their tokens as prize pool to raise awareness. But moving forward, I think the scene is going to change, and we are in talks with some AAA game titles which are designed for esports. And really excited to get behind these guys and to collaborate and help them to penetrate the Southeast Asian market, because we believe this is going to be huge. Even in Indonesia and the Philippines, we have noticed a small shift in the pro gamers in their habits. These pro gamers, some of them are training in the game that they are supposed to be training for, and off training time, they are investing those times into P2E games, and they're very selective over what games. Then the gameplay has to be good, the stickiness has to be there. They are able to then they are able to play and earn, or play to earn at the same time while participating in this game. And then it needs to be widespread enough so that there's enough community, and thus the bragging right comes along as well. So there's a few elements we need to identify, and we're just super excited to be speaking in these games, which we will be announcing very, very soon. Perhaps I will talk about one partner that I was speaking with as well last night, which both of us know mutually as well, between Spintop and Bountie. So yesterday we just talked about it. Like, yeah, we're talking about this guy. It's like, oh yeah. We'll talk about it after the recording.
Okay. Curious about it.